Good morning, everyone. Life. What is life? Honestly, I don't know what life is. But sometimes it's very confusing. I wake up every day, I'm afraid of what is hidden. I'm afraid of what I may face. It's tiring. I'm exhausted. Why can't just life be simple? I wouldn't feel that way if things didn't go this way, right? Okay, so you see that way of thinking? Basically, I kept on blaming the circumstances for what I was feeling. I blamed the circumstances for what I was going through. But the truth is, it wasn't the circumstances that made me feel that way. It was my thoughts. My thoughts influenced me that I was feeling that way, influenced the way I was feeling. So basically, as you can see, these questions, we all have felt that way. We all have asked ourselves these negative questions, even if for once. Let's come back to the topic of circumstances. Circumstances can affect you as long as you allow them to do so. Don't let them break you. Circumstances can affect you if you let them, and by doing so, it becomes far too easy to fall into a negative cycle. Not because of how things are, but because how you think things are. So basically, our thoughts are very strong. Our thoughts are very powerful. Our thoughts have the ability to control our life. So our thoughts are basically connected to our moods, to our behaviors, and to our physical reaction. But how is that possible? Let me tell you how. Our thoughts is connected to our behavior, to our mood, sorry. How is that? Now, firstly, let's have an example over here. So before telling that, I just need to clarify something. All of us knows who is Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs is one of the most successful people in life. He has influenced many young people in today's generation. But if we looked back into Steve Jobs' history, we'd find that he was set for adoption. What can be more harder and heartbreaking than being set for adoption? But did that circumstance stop him from being who he is? Did that stop him from being the most successful person in our world? Did it break him? Did it allow him to influence? Did he allow the circumstances to break him? It didn't. Instead, he challenged himself and he became one of the most successful people. And he became one of the most successful people in our world. Now, coming to question over here, as you can see, is what is that? It's charcoal, right? And that is diamond. Absolutely, we can see the difference between them. But what if I told you that they both are made of the same element, which is carbon? Basically, a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well. It was patience under immense pressure that turned that piece of charcoal into that shining diamond. So that's why don't be afraid of pressure. Pressure, it was never about pressure. It's always about how you react to the pressure. We will always face pressure. We'll always face hard times, but it's all about our way of thinking, our thoughts. It's all in here, in our brain. Our thoughts can control it. Going back to the question when I said, how is it possible that our thoughts can affect our moods? Now let's have an example over here. Losing a job. There were 3 people. They 3 lost their job. So basically they 3 had the same circumstance and the same situation, which was losing their jobs. The first person thought, I'm a failure. So accordingly, he felt depressed. The second person thought, they don't have the right to do that. This is discrimination. And accordingly, he felt angry. The third person thought, well, I don't love that, but this is my time to start a new job. And accordingly, he felt sad and followed by anticipation. So that's why, though they had the same circumstance, though they had the same situation, but the 3 of them thought differently. The 3 of them had different perspectives, and the 3 of them, their moods were different, and they acted differently. So that's why our thoughts are very powerful to control our life, to control how we are facing life and how we see life. The second thing, our thoughts and behavior is connected. Now, Mark, he lost one of his friends. And when he lost his friend, he just started feeling sadly. It's normal to feel sad, right? But then days passed and months passed, and he didn't go out with his friends. He cut off his friends. He stopped doing the things he loved. He stopped doing anything he enjoyed. And when his family asked him, "Why are you doing that? Why are you still not going out? Why are you not enjoying your life as before?" He said, "What's the point? I'm gonna lose one of my friends at any time. We are in an age that I'm gonna lose any of my friends, and I'm gonna lose them at any time, at any age." So that's why he stopped going out. But as Sylvia, she also lost her friend, but she thought that, well, I mean, at any time I lose my friends. So that's why I should show them my love. I should always go out with them. I should do the things I love with them. I should always be connected to them so that when I lose them, I already have had enough time with them. So they both had the same situation, right? They both lost their friends. But the thing is, they both behaved differently. And why is that? Because their thoughts were different. The way they were thinking was different. So that's why the thoughts can affect our behaviors. And the third thing is our thoughts and our physical reaction is connected. Now, Linda, she was having an increased heart rate, as you can see over here. And accordingly, she started thinking that, "Oh my God, I'm having a heart attack." So when she thought that, her physical reaction was more shallow breathing. And when that happened, less oxygen reached to her heart and her brain. So she thought that, "Oh no, I'll be dying. Oh no, I'm really gonna die." So her thoughts made her physical reaction was that she had further increase in her physical reaction. She had more symptoms. In the end, when she realized, and she just calmed down, she realized she was not having a heart attack. It was just her thoughts. It was just an increased heart rate. And so as she realized that, her symptoms were just back to normal. She stopped feeling that way, so she felt better. That's why our thoughts and physical reaction is connected. So now that brings us to the point that thoughts are very powerful. Thoughts can control our life. Thoughts can make us different. Thoughts can change our way, can change our mood, can change our behavior, and can change our physical reaction. That's why we should be very mindful of our thoughts. If we want to feel better, we should control our thoughts. But how is that possible? Now, firstly, we should always allow ourselves to feel our emotions. When something bad happens, allow yourself to feel sad. Tell yourself that, fine, it's totally fine. I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling anxious, it's fine. Allow yourself to feel it. Bring it out. Don't trap it inside you. If your thoughts or if your emotions were to be trapped inside you, it will be always inside you. So that's why let it out. Allow yourself to feel it. So when you do that, after a while, after being sad for half an hour, not more, I mean, like, don't grieve over something that happened for like months. Just take your time. If it's an hour, take your time to be sad. If it's a day, it's fine, but not more than that. So that's why the first thing we need to do to control our thoughts and to feel better is to allow ourselves to feel our emotions. The second thing is write down your feelings. Always when you feel sad, you feel anxious, you feel anything, write it down. And if you don't want to write it down, you can just have a person, or if you, for example, I usually, when I feel sad, I go to my mom and I tell her I'm sad because of what happened. So that makes me feel better. And if you don't want to say to anyone, it's fine. Just write it down. Allow yourself to write it down, to realize your problem, to know what you're feeling and to know what you're thinking. The third thing is face your problem. When you write your problem down or your feelings down, you will know what is your problem. Face it. My problem is whatever. Face it. And you shouldn't be scared of whatever problem it is. Instead, you should face it. You should challenge yourself. As I said, the example in the beginning, Steve Jobs, he challenged himself. He faced his problem. It did not stop him. It led him to be one of the most successful people. The fourth thing is let go of your negative thoughts. Whenever you're feeling you feel you're thinking in a negative way, stop that. Say, no, I won't be feeling that, because life has its bad times, right? Life has its hardships. But the thing is, my thoughts shouldn't be negative, so that I'll be able to keep going on. I'll be able to progress. I'll be able to keep going. And lastly, always practice your positive thinking. Always practice to think in a positive way, so that you won't harm yourself. Instead, you would allow yourself to feel better. So that's why thoughts are very powerful. Thoughts have the power to influence our way, our moods, and our behaviors, as I mentioned. And always remember one thing. And tell yourself that I'm strong because I have been weak. I'm wise because I have been foolish. And fearless because I have been afraid. It's fine to be weak. It's fine to be afraid. It's fine to be foolish. But always tell yourself that no matter what I faced it because it will promote me. These hard times and these hard circumstances, these hard times it never happen to you so that it will break you. It happens to promote you, to make you who you are, to make you stronger, right? So that's why, keep in your mind, I'm strong because I have been weak. It's fine to be weak. I'm fearless because I have been afraid. It's fine I have been afraid. It's fine I was scared for some time, but at the next time, I'll be fearless. I'm wise because I have been foolish. It's fine to be foolish. It's fine not to understand something at the beginning. It's totally fine, but the next time, you will be very wise. Going back to our question that I asked in the beginning of my talk, what is life? Life is your perspective. Life is the reflection of your thoughts. Life is what you see. So that's why always change your perspective, change your way of thinking, so that it will change your life. Life will not change. Life will not stop from doing its job. Life will do its job. Life will be life. There will be hard times. There will be hardships. There will be sometimes that I'll feel bad, or I'll feel weak, or I'll feel foolish, I'll feel scared. There will be times. It will never change, and life is not going to change. What is going to change is your way of thinking. If you change your way of thinking in a positive way, it will change your life. It was never about the situation, and it was never the situation's fault. It was the way you react to it. Always be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of how you think. Be careful that you won't think in a bad way. You won't think in a negative way. Because if you did that, it will be far too easy to fall into a negative cycle. As I said, not because of how things are, but because of how you think things are. Thank you.